It was one of those flawless Saturday afternoons in Willow Creek, the kind where the sun feels like a warm hug and you're just itching to kick back with a cold drink. My wife, Emily, and I just hauled our grocery bags into the driveway, laughing about some dumb joke I'd made at the store when we froze. There, sprawled out in one of our poolside chairs like she was auditioning for a beach resort ad, was Patricia Sullivaner, Queen Pat, as the neighbors whispered when she wasn't around. She was decked out in a loud floral dress, oversized sunglasses sliding down her nose, sipping from a glittery tumbler while some cheesy soft rock blared from her portable speaker. The nerve of it hit us like a slap. Our pool. Our private pool. Excuse me, I said, setting the bags down, my voice sharper than I meant it to be. This is a private pool. You can't just be here. Pat lowered her sunglasses, eyeing us like we were gums stuck to her shoe. I know exactly what this pool is, she said, flicking her hand like she was shooing a fly. As HOA president, I have access to every amenity in this community. You don't get to tell me where I can sit. Emily stepped forward, her patience already fraying. Actually, no. This pool belongs to the 8 townhouses in this row. It's on our deed. It's not HOA property. Pat's face twisted, her lips curling into a sneer. Oh, look at you two, acting all high and mighty, hogging community resources like entitled leeches. I pay triple your dues. I'll do what I want. We stood there, dumbfounded, arguing with her for a solid 20 minutes, her voice getting louder, her tumbler while VYing like a scepter. Finally, I'd had enough. I pulled out my phone and dialed the cops. Pat scoffed, but when the patrol car rolled up, she dove behind an inflatable pool Floetta, giant pink unicorn. No less like that would hide her. It was almost funny, except I was too mad to laugh. We'd only been in Willow Creek for 3 months, drawn by the tidy lawns and the promise of this private pool, a little oasis just for our row of townhouses. The real estate agent had sold it hard. You get the HOA perks without sharing your swim space with half the neighborhood. What she didn't mention was Pat Sullivan, the HOA president who ran the place like her personal fiefdom. Our neighbor, Tom, had filled us in early on. Pat had been in charge for 5 years, finding people for curtains that weren't the right shade of ivory or trash cans left out 10 minutes past pickup. Our first run-in with her was a friendly note about our mailbox, which was apparently not shiny enough for her liking. Things got frostier when we passed on joining her beautification committee, which seemed to be code for sipping rose on her porch while judging everyone's shrubs. That Saturday was her first real power move against us. After we explained calmly, repeatedly that the pool was private, she didn't budge. Instead, she doubled down, saying we didn't belong in Willow Creek and threatening to report us for excluding neighbors. She stormed off, vowing this wasn't over. We brushed it off, figuring she was all talk. Big mistake. The next morning, I went out to check the pool chemicals before breakfast and stopped dead. There was Pat floating in the middle of our pool on a raft, sunglasses on, looking half asleep. 2 women I didn't know were lounging at the edge, their feet in the water, chatting like they were at a spa. How the hell did you get in here? I shouted, my voice cracking with disbelief. The gate needed a key only our row had. Pat lifted her head, smirking. Good morning, neighbor. Lovely day for a dip, don't you think? I checked the gate locked. Then I spotted it. A stepladder propped against the 6-foot fence on the far side. She climbed over. I grabbed my phone and pulled up our security footage. Clear as day, there was Pat at 7:30 a.m., hauling her ladder, dragging a cooler, and VYing her friends in. She even smirked at the camera, like she knew she was untouchable. I marched back, holding up the VY Deo. This is trespassing, Pat. You're done. She lost it, splashing water as she flailed off her float. How dare you spy on me? This is the kind of entitled nonsense I'm talking about. The HOA gives me full access to inspect all facilities. Emily, who'd come out after hearing the yelling, cut in. This isn't an HOA facility. It's our property, and you're breaking the law. Pat stood there, dripping, and had the gall to taunt us. Go ahead, call the cops. I've been on the town council for 6 years. Let's see who they believe, or some nobodies who don't know how things work here. I was already on the phone with 911, laying out the situation. Pat's friends, smarter than she was, grabbed their stuff and bailed, scrambling over the fence like they were fleeing a crime scene. When the police showed up 15 minutes later, things got real. Two officers, one older, with a no-nonsense VYB, the other younger, trying not to smirk, heard us out. Pat spun some wild story about ensuring pool safety as HOA president. The older officer wasn't buying it. He checked our property documents and the footage, then turned to Pat, his voice flat. "Ma'am, there's a private property sign on the gate. This pool belongs to these townhouses, not the HOA. You climbed a fence to get in. That's illegal." Pat's face went beet red. "This is a misunderstanding," she stammered, her confidence crumbling. "I was checking for safety violations. It's my duty." The younger officer raised an eyebrow. "You check for violations while floating with a drink in your hand." The older one didn't crack a smile. "Ma'am, leave now." Pat grabbed her speaker and bag, glaring at us like we'd burned her house down. At the gate, she spun around, her voice shaking. "This isn't over. The board will hear about this harassment. I'll slap special assessments on your units so fast you'll choke." "That sounds like a threat," the older officer said, stepping closer. "Leave. Now." Pat didn't move, clutching a pool chair like it was her throne. "I'm the HOA president. I will not be treated like this in my community." The officers exchanged a look. "Patricia Sullivan, you're under arrest for criminal trespassing and failing to comply," the older one said, pulling out cuffs. As they led her away, Pat screamed, "You'll regret this. I'll make your lives hell." Neighbors peeked out, some clapping as the police car drove off. Pat's tumbler bobbed in the shallow end, a pathetic relic of her reign. 2 days later, an HOA email went out to every resident, a thinly veiled jab at Pat. It reminded everyone to respect private property and outlined trespassing penalties. The kicker? Pat was suspended as president, pending a special election, her actions deemed a liability. She faced misdemeanor charges, a DULA, 500 fine, and 30 days of community, SARE VYC picking up park trash. When I ran into the HOA VYC president by the mailboxes, he grinned. Should have happened years ago. She thought she was untouchable. Pat's face in court, when the judge handed down her sentence, was pure shock, like the world had turned on her. For us, it was V-windication. That tumbler in the pool? It's gone, but the story's still rippling through Willow Creek. So what do you think? Was Pat just a power-hungry bully, or did we overreact by calling the cops? Should HOA presidents have more leeway, or are private boundaries non-negotiable? Drop your thoughts below, hit that like button if you're team private pool, and subscribe for more wild neighborhood drama. Let's get this debate going.